What's going on, everybody? This is Theta Warrior. This video is going to be all about VWAP, how to use it, how to set it up, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. We're going to cover all the topics here in this video today. I think it's a really useful, helpful indicator. I use it on all my lower time frame charts. Typically, I like to favor the 5-minute time frame, but it works on the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, whatever you like. It's really a great indicator to have and use if you're a day trader like myself. So first things first, let's jump into how to actually add it onto the chart. So let me turn off this one that I have currently on. So what you want to do, this is TradingView. You can add this, any broker you use should have this indicator. Thinkorswim, Interactive Brokers, Schwab, E-Trade, TrendSpider, obviously whatever you like to use. This is how to add it in TradingView. So first things first, you'll go here to the Indicators tab, click on that, just type in VWAP. It's going to be the very first one, Volume Weighted Average Price. Okay, click it. It's on there. It's going to pop up with these 3 lines. All we really care about is this middle one. So in order to get rid of these top 2, all you have to do is expand this. It'll say VWAP right there. Click on this little gear, which is the second icon. Go to Style and uncheck the upper band, lower band, and band fills. Okay, and then that just leaves you with the actual VWAP. Now, personal preference, I like to make this purple. You can make it green, blue, yellow, doesn't make any difference. Whatever your eyes like to look at on the chart, that's what color it should be. It's not going to change the inputs, obviously. It's just totally whatever you like to look at. For me, I like a black background, red and green candlesticks with a purple VWAP. Works great. All right, so now that we've added it to the charts, what are some key things to note about VWAP? VWAP is a very interesting indicator because it works as a moving average, but it also factors in volume. So VWAP stands for Volume Weighted Average Price. So what VWAP is showing you is that this is the most average price. This is kind of the median to the range of the price action. You can see that obviously most of the price action is taking place above VWAP, but given the volume, this actually is the most average price. So it kind of works similar, like if you're familiar with a Bollinger Band, it's going to show you like where the mean is. So this is kind of the mean of price. Earlier I said that you can use it on any time frame, and that's true, you can. So if you'll see here, we're on the 5-minute time frame. It says 706.33, so that's your VWAP. If I change it to the 1 minute, it's going to say 706. Sorry, let me get it so we can see it. 706.34. If I change it to the 15 minute, 706.39. 1 minute, 706.38. 1 hour, 706.38. So you can see that it's basically the same within a few pennies, no matter what time frame you look at. Okay, and that's really important to note. If we'll look at, like, let's say a 200 moving average, which is this blue line here. If I'm looking at it on the 5-minute, it's going to say 705.59. If I change it to the 15-minute, I get a completely different number, 703.57. 1 hour, it's 711.31. Go to the daily, now it's 642. So it's completely different. The 200-day moving average is going to factor in 200 days of candles, or it's going to factor in 200 candles. The moving average doesn't care what time frame you look at it on. It's going to average in 200 candles of whatever interval you're looking at. Okay. VWAP is not going to do that necessarily. VWAP is going to move in a similar fashion, but it's all about price. All VWAP cares about is price. Okay, and that's why it can be such a useful and powerful tool. So let me show you how I like to trade it. Basically, I like to use it as support and resistance. If price breaks above VWAP, I'm looking to be a buyer on a retest and catch a bounce. This is a great example right here that happened earlier today of just that. I like it especially when I can line up a pattern right into it. Okay, so you've got a big breakout, you've got a bull flag right into VWAP, and then you've got an explosion off of it and a breakout of that pattern. This is an A++ move off of VWAP. This is exactly how you should be trading it. right? So you're taking your entry here or maybe here, depending on, your risk tolerance for the trade, and then your stop is going to go just below it, because obviously if they get price below VWAP, it could dump. But this right here is a really great example of the power of this tool. And you'll notice that a lot of the time when price comes back down to VWAP, there's a reaction. Maybe it's a slight reaction, maybe they get it through and then they take it under. But let's go back a few days and just see. I don't really pay too much attention to the overnight action because there's so much less volume. But I will say, going back to the change in VWAP, right, being the same on these time frames, it actually will change if you have regular trading hours. Okay, so for example, VWAP 706.91, put it back on extended, 706.33. So that's actually a much bigger difference than if we go to say the hourly, where it's only a few pennies different. Okay, it's because it's factoring in these candles. Now I personally like to look at it on the extended trading hours, because in the morning, let's say for example, you get a big gap up like this right here, or a big gap down like that right there. The VWAP is going to take some time to catch up and factor in these candles. Okay, it's going to have this big drop, and then it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of adjust itself, so to speak. So I personally don't find that VWAP is as accurate. Look at today's candle. Today's price action is a perfect example. This is the same bull flag we were just looking at. Okay, and look what happened when price came back down to test VWAP. What did it do? It got right through it. It didn't hold there. So if you're buying at this level, you're putting your stop under it, you're out of the trade. You got stopped out. I know I drew this kind of in a sloppy manner, but let's go ahead and put back on the extended trading hours just to show you it is the same exact pattern, and it held perfectly. So that's why I'm a big, big, big believer in using the extended trading hours if you're going to trade with VWAP. You want to look at all the candles, okay? Now let's go back to what I was showing you a minute ago before I got off on that little tangent. Very important tangent, but a tangent nonetheless. Let's just go back and look at some of this price action. Here's a great example right there. Look at that. Basically to the penny. If I can get my mouse to draw here. Basically to the penny. The first touch. They rip it up, bull trap in the morning, slam it under, first bounce. That's where your short is. Okay? If you can line it up, with your kind of pre-market high breakout area, look at how nice that is. Oops, got the wrong thing. Look how nice that is. Comes back down, bounce it back up, taking your short right there, catching all that move to the downside. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's so simple. All you need is this one indicator, and you've got trade ideas that pop up on a daily basis. You couple that with some pretty basic understanding of price action, support and resistance price action. Maybe a few chart patterns here or there, and boom, you're off and running. It's free, this is great. I love VWAP. I do not look at a lower time frame chart without VWAP. That's how much it means to me. Look at that. Almost to the penny. It's so good. VWAP is literally a cheat code. I think it's amazing. Of course, it's not going to be 100%. You show me an indicator that's 100%, and you can make $1 trillion with it. Obviously, a perfect indicator isn't going to exist. And sometimes, it's annoying. You're waiting for the retest, and you don't get it. Maybe price was just respecting this prior low. So not always are you going to get it, in a nice downtrend. You're just waiting to sell at VWAP. I've been there so many times. And sometimes it doesn't get there. Look, it just looks like price kind of bounced off this prior low. So you want to use it with other types of support and resistance and other types of technical analysis understanding. Okay, it's meant to be another tool in your toolkit. It's not meant to be the end all be all of indicators. Okay, there's other stuff that I look at too. Here's another nice one. Look at that, right off the open. Look at this freaking move. If you caught all of that, my God, That's like a week or a month maker right there, let alone a day maker. Beautiful. Let's look at a few more. Sometimes in this type of price action, when price doesn't respect VWAP, I'm not doing anything. That's just a mess. I don't want to be involved in that. Sometimes they fish it under. They try and fake you out like they're going, and then boom, they go right back. When they get that reclaim, that's exactly what that's called, is a VWAP reclaim. That's a bullish signal in itself. You couple that again with some pretty basic, whoops, got the wrong thing, with some pretty basic technical analysis. For example, this nice little downtrend break. We can throw another one of those on there, make that into a little falling wedge or a little descending channel, maybe. Right? Something like that. You got trade ideas every day. Do not, let me tell you something. As someone who's been trading for years and years and studied thousands of charts and spent thousands of hours looking at price action, do not ever disregard the false move. Do not ever overlook a failed move in one direction or the other. Sometimes the market will do things like this, try and fake you out like it's going to go lower, when in reality, it's setting up to just rip. It works both ways. I've seen so many situations where the market, fakes to the upside and then it breaks down. They fake it to the downside, then it rips up. It's just endless. Again, this is an example of when VWAP was basically useless. It's not going to work every day. But when it does work, it's like a thing of beauty. Here's another day it didn't work. Another day it didn't work. Maybe had some respect here, Definitely stop hunter type of day. Maybe there was a trade there. But it's great. I know we're just looking at it on the cues. We'll pull up SPY. There's usually some type of reaction around VWAP. Price likes to visit VWAP. Very rarely will you see a day when price doesn't visit VWAP. Like this could be a nice little false move above VWAP and you get back short as soon as it gets back under there. Usually only on a strong trend day. Oh wow, look at that. Come on. To the penny long. To the penny short. To the penny short. Just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm a big fan of VWAP. There's a few different ways to trade it. I like the break above, check back, retest, and bounce. The break below, check back, retest, and bounce. That's my method of trading that I prefer on a daily basis, the BRB. If you like the BRB, if you're familiar with the BRB, if you're not familiar with the BRB, let me know. I have a ton of information on it. This is what I teach. This is what I trade. This is what I believe. It's a fabulous strategy. It does very, very well. So I think we'll end the video there. It's a great indicator to add. It's free. It's simple to use. Look at it to be support and resistance. In an uptrend, you want to be a buyer on dips. In a downtrend, you want to be a seller on rips. Don't overcomplicate it. Add it to your charts today. Fabulous indicator. Volume weighted average price. If you got value from this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an opportunity. If you're ready to take your trading to the next level, visit ThetaWarriorPro.com to learn more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.